Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're taking a look at the best 5 brawlers in all of the modifiers with a brand new rank season. I've been pushing a lot on ranked, literally 5 hours on stream earlier today, and I've got to legendary 2 already, so I've got a good idea of what brawlers are good in the modifiers, and some of them are pretty bad modifiers. But there's 2 new modifiers that come in with this ranked season. We have Super Bushy and we have Second Wind. We'll go into a little bit of detail later on, and then we've got a return of Quickfire. So just before we jump into it, make sure you're subscribed if you're not already, because I'll be giving you guys all the best rank tips. I'll give you guys a tier list on Saturday as well, so you guys don't want to miss out on that. So to begin with, we're going to be going through the classic modifier, the boring, well, it's not really the boring one. Everyone should really know who the best brawlers are in the meta by now, but this is the modifier you're going to get the most, so it's probably pretty key to learn the classic meta. So the first brawler is going to be Angelo. Angelo is by far the best brawler in the game. Well, not by far the best brawler, one of the best brawlers in the game. He's just still so strong. He only received 1 nerf and he's always the go-to pick. I'll say more often than not, people know to ban Angelo, but sometimes he's actually still in the draft phase. So if the enemies have first pick, just ban Angelo. There's no point even trying to counter him. It's uncounterable. Next, we have Melody. So again, the nerfs really did nothing to her. She's like the best brawler when it comes to heist, for example. Brawl, she makes so many good plays. Gem grab, she gets a lot of good pressure with her super. And again, people actually don't tend to ban her out too much, but the best 2 brawlers, no doubt, in the game right now are Angelo and Melody. So make sure they're banned out if the opponents have the first pick. Next up, we have Max. So Max, I would say, is a brawler which a typical person can't really carry with. Her win rates in monthly finals weren't exactly like the best, but at the same time, Max is still such a strong brawler in the right hands. Super versatile, really good in pretty much every single map, every single mode, and she's got a really strong hypercharge, so that's why you want to use Max. Next, we have Byron. So I would say he's just still underrated so much by the majority. You can play Byron literally everywhere. It's a very sniper friendly meta. There's not many assassins that are really at the top right now, so that's allowed Byron to just thrive. He can 2 and 3 tap so many of the meta brawlers right now, so that's why he's literally at the top, and there's just so many good Byron synergies going on right now. And the last brawler you want to be playing in the classic modifier is Sandy. So again, there's just so many maps which have just came into the rotation where Sandy is just so strong on. Gem 4, Sneaky Fields, it's just so many good Sandy maps, and of course with the hypercharge just makes Sandy even better right now. So those are the top 5 brawlers in the classic modifier. So now we're going to be moving on to the Quickfire modifier. So it's pretty much the exact same meta from a couple of months ago. Quickfire got nerfed early on when it first got released and ranked, and I'll say it's still pretty strong for the brawlers that have a lot of projectiles per attack. So here are the best brawlers. Also in terms of gameplay, literally everyone is dodging on Quickfire, and it's also only available for 10% of your rank games, so I'm not getting it too much in my games, but you can just see by the stream gameplay here. So the best brawler on Quickfire, in my opinion, is going to be Gene. Main reason being he's just solid everywhere, and you can literally even use Gene on heist. He's that strong. He has so many projectiles per attack, and he's just completely broken, especially on a bushy map as well with the vision gear. Next up, we have Spike. So even since the nerf, Spike is just still such a strong brawler on Quickfire. He's really good with the vision gear on so many grassy maps, and he can just keep spamming out attacks. The amount of damage that you can deal, especially with the fast reload from Quickfire, is just absolutely insane. Next, we have Stu. So this is more for the brawler, for the people that have really good internet connection, so they can make use of constantly getting their ammo back, constantly being able to super up the map. But a good Stu will just absolutely rip through everyone on Quickfire. Next, we have Gale. So again, he has a lot of projectiles per attack. You add the slow stop power onto him, and he's just going to burst through people so quickly. He's a great shutdown to a lot of different brawlers on this modifier, and he can just spam auto aim all over the time. And the last brawler is going to be Leon. So Leon, people are forgetting about on Quickfire. He is literally broken on Quickfire. He's even good on heist, for example. He just shreds through everybody, and especially once you pop that hypercharge, there's nothing the opponents can do. You literally have infinite ammo. To move it into one of the new modifiers for this season, we have Super Bushy. So how this modifier works, I think after like 30 seconds, maybe even close to a minute, the middle of the map starts growing out bushes, and even if those bushes in the middle get destroyed, there's another layer of bushes that just keep expanding and expanding. But it takes a long time for the map to get a little bit bushy. It only really gets super bushy on maps like Gem 4, where it completely covers the entirety of the middle. But I would say generically the meta actually doesn't change too much, because it takes a long time for the bushes to actually start expanding. You're going to have the same meta from the classic modifier, in my opinion, but there's a few brawlers which are a little bit better in comparison to other modifiers. So the first brawler is going to be Amber. Of course, Amber's main objective is to break open ground grass as much as possible with her super. She already is like an A tier brawler in the meta, close to the S tier, so it's just super solid on bushy. You know, if there's any annoying brawlers in the bush, you can just destroy the grass and then you can take control for a little while. But again, that grass does regrow, so that kind of just, I don't know, you get what I mean. For a little while, you can at least expose the enemies. Next up, we have Gene. So Gene, again, is an S-tier brawler in the meta. He's so strong since the Hypercharge introduction, and because of the way his attack just spreads with the vision gear, he's the perfect brawler to scout the grass, and he's just good pretty much everywhere anyways. So it's a no-brainer going this brawler on the bushy modifier. Next, we have Sandy. So the reason why Sandy's so good is just because he's amazing in grass. The more grass, the better it is for Sandy, and of course, his super literally scouts the entirety of the grass with one rude sand star power, so that's why Sandy's even better. And then in terms of the other two brawlers, I really couldn't pinpoint two brawlers which I would put like at the top of this super bushy modifier. Maybe if you're lower down in elo, you can probably get away with playing some tanks if you camp in the middle, but again, I just think the same type of brawlers either in the classic, you know, the S-tier brawlers, are just the same in bushy. I don't think the meta changes too much. I'm moving into the final modifier, which is a brand new modifier and probably the worst modifier we've ever seen, to be honest. It is the second wind modifier. So how this works is that the enemies, wherever you defeat them, they will respawn in that exact location. So this is absolutely crazy broken in so many scenarios, in so many different game modes. So I'll quickly go through it. So in terms of the game modes where it's just broken in, it is hot zone, for example. You literally just got to push yourself over to the hot zone, and then once you die on the hot zone, you'll just respawn exactly in that same point and just keep getting time over and over again. So if you're playing on game modes like hot zone, for example, you could just play Jackie, Primo, any sort of tank, and you're just going to stay on that zone forever. There's nothing the opponents can do. You've also got Doug, for example, who's really strong. The one thing I will bear in mind, you know, game modes like Brawl, for example, it literally is like knockout in Brawl, because if you die once, there's actually a longer respawn penalty as well. I think it's like 7 seconds to respawn. So if you die once, literally opponents can just walk forward, and of course you're not going to respawn in the goal. They're just going to get a free goal every single time. So it's just a terrible modifier in Brawl, for example. I've also noticed as well in Heist, you know, you can go like a pretty heavy hitter on the safe. You know, you could go Spike, you could go a tank, you could go like Daryl, Bull, and you can just force yourself up the map with your super, and as soon as you get on the safe, there's nothing the opponents can do. You're just going to keep dealing damage every single time you respawn, so it's toxic for that reason. Also, brawlers like Carl are just good everywhere on this modifier, because the main reason Carl's so good is because if you have your super with the invincibility bubble, when you respawn, you're just going to be able to get team wipes so easily when you die in their spawn. You've also got the flying hook gadget, which can just push you into that spawn even more. You know, like Heist, for example, you can just fly into the safe. On Bounty, you can just fly into their spawn, and you know, Carl is absolutely broken on this modifier. There's a few other brawlers as well which I've just seen are a little bit better than some of the others. You know, Pearl, for example, because she's got like a good super. Basically any brawler that has some quick DPS or any tanks are going to be good on this respawn modifier. But other than that, I don't know, it's a little bit of a weird one. It's just a complete mess. I think tanks are the ones that improves the most. I've really struggled because as soon as I got to Mythic, people are just dodging because the modifier is that bad. They don't want to play it. So I haven't played this off stream, which is just crazy to me. Anyways, that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think of all the new modifiers, the best brawlers and whatever else. So just to recap, the respawn modifier is just absolutely crazy. Just anything goes, really. Just go tanks and just brute force your way up the map. You've got super bushy where, you know, tanks are going to be a little bit better, but I would say the brawlers that are really good at scouting are going to be a bit better. And then you've got Quickfire, the brawlers with multiple projectiles, and then of course you've got the classic modifiers. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.